darkness, oppression. The Israelites, God's chosen people, were once again under the cruel heel of their enemies, the Philistines. Hope seemed lost, but in times of despair, heroes are born. This is the story of Samson, a man who, like the superheroes of today, possessed extraordinary abilities. But unlike the mythical beings of comic books, Samson was a real man, touched by the divine, destined to become a legend. His story does not begin in a bustling metropolis, but in the quiet, sun-drenched hills of ancient Israel. His parents, Manoah and his wife, had long yearned for a child but remained childless. Then, an angel appeared to Manoah's wife with a prophecy. She would give birth to a son, chosen by God, to deliver Israel from the Philistines. But this child would be no ordinary man. He would be a Nazirite from birth, bound by a sacred vow. The angel's words filled her with a mix of joy and trepidation. The burden of raising a child chosen by God, a savior, weighed heavily on her heart. Yet she also felt a surge of hope. Could this be the answer to their prayers, the hero their people desperately needed? She rushed to tell Manoah, her heart pounding with the weight of the angel's visit. Manoah, initially skeptical, was soon convinced by the angel's reappearance. Their son would be different, set apart. The angel laid out the terms of the Nazirite vow. No razor would ever touch his hair, symbolizing his dedication to God. It was in this sacred covenant that Samson's incredible strength would lie. And so, Samson was born. As he grew, so did his strength, surpassing anything anyone had ever witnessed. It was more than mere muscle. It was the divine power of God flowing through him, making him an unstoppable force. But with great power, as the saying goes, comes great responsibility. Samson's parents, acutely aware of their son's destiny, instilled in him a sense of duty, reminding him of the prophecy and the hope he represented for their people. They taught him the stories of their ancestors, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, reminding him of the covenant and the God they served. Little did they know that their son's path would be fraught with trials, his extraordinary strength tested by his own desires. Samson's feats of strength became legendary. He would tear apart a lion with his bare hands, its ferocious roar silenced by his grip. He single-handedly fought off entire Philistine battalions, his rage fueled by their oppression of his people. Stories of his exploits spread like wildfire, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies and igniting hope in the hearts of his people. But Samson was not just a warrior, he was also a man of passion, easily swayed by his desires. Once, on his way to the Philistine city of Timnah, he encountered a young Philistine woman. He was captivated by her beauty, her laughter like music to his ears. He desired her, his heart pounding with an unfamiliar longing. Oblivious to the danger of fraternizing with the enemy, he pursued her, his love for her a raging fire that consumed his better judgment. He would marry this Philistine woman, defying the warnings of his parents and the unspoken rules of his society. This decision, driven by passion rather than wisdom, would set in motion a chain of events that would test his strength and his loyalty to the very core. Section 4. The Treachery of Love. The Philistine woman Delilah was as cunning as she was beautiful. She was quickly drawn into the web of intrigue spun by the Philistine rulers who feared Samson's immense power. They offered her a king's ransom to uncover the secret of his strength, a secret they believed lay in his unusual devotion to his Nazirite vow. Blinded by his love for Delilah, Samson initially resisted her inquiries. He told her stories, spun tales of where his strength lay, testing her loyalty. But Delilah was persistent, her pleas a potent mix of adoration and concern, chipping away at his resolve. Each time he relented, offering a false secret, he survived the Philistines' attempts to capture him, his strength seemingly unaffected. His confidence grew, his belief in Delilah's love blinding him to the danger he was in. He failed to see the glint of betrayal in her eyes, the way her touch felt less like love and more like a calculation. He was a captive not of chains and bars, but of his own desires, his heart a weapon wielded against him by the woman he loved. Section 5. The Price of Betrayal. Delilah, weary of Samson's games and driven by the promise of gold, finally pushed him too far. As he slept in her lap, his guard down, she summoned a Philistine artisan. The sharp sound of shears cutting through his hair filled the room, each snip severing not just hair but the sacred covenant that bound Samson to his God. The Philistines, sensing their opportunity, descended upon the now powerless Samson. He fought back, fueled by betrayal and rage. but his strength was gone. His enemies rejoiced, their laughter echoing his despair as they bound him with chains, their mockery a constant reminder of his folly. They blinded him, their cruelty knowing no bounds, and took him to Gaza, the heart of their territory. There, in the temple of their god Dagon, they put him on display, a spectacle for their amusement. They had broken the mighty Samson, his roars now reduced to whimpers of pain, but they had underestimated the God he served, the God who forgives and redeems even in the face of unimaginable betrayal.